on Monday, August 4th, 2025, episode 124, live episode 124, House of Orange Live. Let's talk some football tonight. We're going to go football for about 45 minutes. I think we'll be able to get that in. You guys in the chat always help drive that. 8:45, I want to shift to baseball and wrap up probably the last 15 minutes or so. I feel like there's some interesting stuff to talk about in baseball. Make sure you hit the like. One of the biggest things you can do to help me out, just share out the content. That's just getting eyes on the product, so to speak. And then if you're a new listener or you're not subscribed, it is free to subscribe as well. Really appreciate all of the support. And, super chats, super thanks are available if you want to give a token of thanks. It's greatly appreciated. But I gave my takeaways yesterday. Practice number 4 ended, concluded on Sunday. They were off today. They'll go back to work tomorrow. And, after a week of it, I don't think there's anything. I do have a concern, and some in the comments thought I was being negative. It is what it is, and I'll get to one comment here that hits it in a minute. But I'm going to hit some of your comments here, and we'll get going on it. Papa J said, let's go Big Orange. School is not in session for me yet, Papa J. I still got almost 2 weeks before I go back. So we start a little bit later up here in Asheville. Backwoods TN is hoping to get him on tonight. He's busy, so hoping to get him on another night. Looking forward to the show. I was talking a minute ago on here, and a couple of David Speaks comments. There's 2 things I want to hit on those. These are good comments. So Trey Weary will be playing a lot this year, similar to Will Brooks. Watch. That goes back to a comment, when I talked in the video yesterday. Yesterday in practice, and a lot of you guys have probably seen it. Some of you probably listened to me. Tennessee was down to 5 scholarship wide receivers yesterday. Chris Brazel has not practiced yet. And then Mike Matthews, he was hurt and out yesterday. Said both of them should be back this week. So, here's the thing of it. Are those real concerning now? No. What happens when we get into the season and if those injuries start to pile up? We've got 7 scholarship wide receivers. Of the 5 yesterday, 4 of them have not played a down of college football. 3 of them are true freshmen. The other's Amari Jefferson, who's a redshirt freshman, did not play last year. And the 5th one is Braylon Staley, who's a redshirt freshman and didn't play a whole lot last year either. So what happens in the event that multiple guys get banged up? We get down to it. Trey Weary may be playing a lot of football this year. David Speaks is absolutely correct on that one. I've floated out, and I've seen nothing to think this is happening. I'm trying to cover up this glare here, guys. I turned the TV and everything. I've got Monday Night Raw and kind of keeping up with what's happening, but I'll be focused here. But, I've floated out. Could you go Deshaun Breen? Could you go Ethan Davis out wide? Could you put Star Thomas in the slot? Could you? And another listener brought up DeJuan Morris as well. I do have to think this staff has options in the event of it. But good comment there. I do want to hit this. Speaking of Indy Kid, almost a 5. You guys know where I was at when that pseudonym was used at that point with Talking Vols. So I do want to bring it up, and I don't have the link, but over the weekend, Boogie, who does Talking Vols, their house got affected by a flood, got damaged. And, based on where I've lived the last year, where I was outside of Greenville last year when the hurricane hit, we didn't get the flooding. We got the tree damage. But in Asheville, where I'm at now, just got destroyed with flood. It's still recovering up here. Businesses are still recovering. But this hit me. It's sad. It stinks. And insurance would not cover the damage for him. He didn't ask for anything on it. Some people set it up. There is a GoFundMe for him. If you got a little bit of money, you can donate to help them. Again, he didn't ask for it. People set it up, but it is a family could use the help because you guys know if you've had damage, it's going to be a lot for that. So keep them in mind if you can help out, or just thoughts and prayers along the way. But let's hit some more here. Papa J, a lot of great sports to look forward to this year. Football man, it is. Football should be fun. I think the Lady Vols are going to be loaded this year. Men's basketball is going to be loaded. And then I'm going to talk baseball at 8:45 here as well. I'll probably need to set me a timer to make sure I don't keep rambling. Sorry about this, but I want to make sure I want to keep it to an hour tonight. So, there we go. All right. That's the fun thing to me right now with Tennessee athletics. It doesn't stop. We've had the days where maybe one sport was good. We had the years where none of them were really lighting it up in the teens there. What's up, Kyle Beach? Good to see you in here, man. Yeah, I know Sullivan County started back today. Greenville County, which is in South Carolina, where I have taught the last couple of years, teachers went back yesterday. Yeah, we've got to get Brazel and Matthews back on the field for sure. Yep, maybe getting around the student body tryouts before too long. Maybe Kerry Williams has got some eligibility left. He can go try out there as well. Hoping to get him back on here before too long, as he's had some things taken care of. We'll definitely be pounding the rock this year. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Let's see here. Michael, you might have commented already. Are you in Tennessee or where you at? Let me know on that. Teacher work days 8/11. Wow, y'all get 2 weeks of work day? Interesting. That's awesome. Colton Hood is going to be huge. I've talked about that. I almost could have put him as my top transfer coming in, just because of now with Jermon McCoy out, with Boo Carter still working his way back right now. The importance of that pickup is huge right now. Kyle Beach says he's got some eligibility left, so we might be hearing Kyle on there as well. Nah, man, I retired that one, dude. I retired that one. That's old news, old one right there. So, no, we're just going to probably retire that one now. Let's see what else we got here. Yes, Blurgate has been solved. I'd seen something on Rivals now. It's not on 3 now. It's Rivals again, but I don't even know. I didn't even click on it because it was somebody who sees it and tried to make something of it. Unless Miles Kitzelman is a quarterback now, that was not the blurred out guy. Was not one of the quarterbacks in the picture. I don't know where the quarterbacks was as I looked at. Austin Price had 2 awesome tweets he put out. He said that, what did he say? Beautiful pictures of Lindsey Nelson Stadium or something like that. And it was obvious what he was doing on it. But, yeah, that was – we don't know who that quarterback was on that, at least not yet. And, I would assume – it's one of the 3. Could have been a walk-on, though. We'll talk quarterbacks here in a minute. Man, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting with it. I mean, there's been some not too shabby reports out there this week as far as quarterbacks and receivers. But the beauty of it's week 1. It is week 1 on there. I'm curious to see what Boo what's up, Slick Biker? I think Boo, it'd be interesting. I mean, he, from what I've seen so far, he's finally in a helmet for practice. So they're working him back in. And, I got people telling me to leave it alone. Boo's on the team. Straight from the horse's mouth, Josh Heupel, he's got work to do. All right. Yes, he's on the team, but I don't think he has much leash. If he, and you guys can feel free to disagree with me on, a lot of people like to think this whole Boo Carter thing was made up. It was fabricated. It was not. There was not a single video I made on Boo Carter that I fabricated anything. The reports were out there with it. Was it all? There was some stuff that got put out that was bogus about him being in trouble in Chattanooga. No, it was all team related. Josh Heupel specifically addressed it in the opening press conference before they even got to it. Yeah, he said he's got work to do on it. So there's none of that was made up along the line. That's kind of the annoying. People think you make a Boo Carter video, it's clickbait. It's not. It was new. It was big news going along. And to me, it sounds like he's lucky he's on the team. I'm glad he is. Hope they work things out. And I'm glad that they're willing to give him a second chance. Everybody deserves a second chance on it. But, he let some guys down, it sounds like. Let's see. Okay, Brunswick County, Michael Park. Cool. All right. So I'm in Buncombe County. This year's where I'll be. I really think if you get those two, if you had Ethan Davis and Deshaun Bring, the way they've talked that they've caught the ball, I'm not saying you run them the whole time, but especially you get near the red zone or the orange zone, if they're still calling it that, that could be big. Okay, I didn't see that Kane said it was Merklinger. Yeah, that ball was – it was a good play by Colton Hood. It was underthrown, though, for sure. Yeah, the blur was definitely Kitzelman. I saw it when Austin Price posted it. I'm not sure who it was beside a Kitzelman, but the one blurred was definitely number 87. It was him. A lot of 12 personnel. Joey Halsley, I think it's interesting. He made the comments of that. I can't remember verbatim what it was or what was said, but it was like, what happens when they play soft, when teams drop 8, and they said they've got adjustments. You had to come into this year with adjustments for that because it killed them last year, and they never adjusted to it. But you've got some guys and some speed to get out and make some plays. Let them do it. I mean, let's face it, 4 yards a pop, you're going down the field all night long. That's all it takes. Even 3.5 a pop, you're going down the field all night long. I would think tight ends in order. It's Kitzelman and Davis, but it sounds like Bring is in there and Van Dorselaer too. I think a guy like Cole Harrison who's been out, probably, we'll see how long he's out, where he'll be, but there's this tight end. That's why I think with Snead decommitting this week, they're fine. They're fine there. And I saw, it was one of the VolQuest mods said let's see, a guy committed to Kentucky's probably who they'll shift to. If they don't get him, so they can always go portal on that as well. Because, of course, you'd lose Kitzelman. You'd have 4 guys back if no one transfers with it. They're set up good on tight end. And frankly, I'm glad that one was over. I have no problem with the guy doing what he needs to, but, that's one of the softest commits in terms of actually being committed that I've seen. He's been looking for a way out for a bit, in my opinion. I don't wish him bad or anything like that. Don't get me wrong on that. It's just if we knew this was coming, it's best you go ahead and get it out of the way. That way the staff can shift elsewhere. Speaking of now, as we get to, we've talked about the Saturday practice they talked about, and I quote said it was what they saw, and they're not seeing all of it. They're not even seeing a major portion of practice with it. But they said I took it as the quarterbacks looked up. The more I looked at it, because Ryan Shumpert, he keeps up with the stats on it. He said Merklinger and Aguilar on Saturday were 9 for 11. That's not bad. And some of the videos showed drops. So, and there were some throws. Not every single throw from a quarterback is going to be perfect. It's just not. So, the receiver play is probably the most concerning. It seems there's been a ton of drops with it. But Again, it's August 4th. This team doesn't play for a bit now. So, they're still, over 3 weeks away? So, doesn't matter where you're at now. It's where we're at when we get to football season. That's what I'm looking at along the lines there. I hadn't heard a lot about running backs other than they've looked good. We've heard that. They've looked good. Tight ends have looked good. And I'm encouraged about the offensive line. I really am. And it sounds like Pendleton, it's a real possibility. He's going to play center. And that's kind of my thing. I think it's been in the whole time we've known Lance Hurd at left tackle, Wendell Moy Jr. at left guard, David Sanders Jr. at right tackle. I think those three were entrenched. And there's a question what Sam Pendleton's going to be in. It's a matter of if he is the center or is he the right guard. What gives you the best five? Is it with Satterwhite at center and Pendleton at right guard, or Pendleton at center, Umaroff or Jesse Perry at right guard? I think the offensive line takes a major step this year. I really do. Quarterbacks got to play better. I guess I said football. Yeah, maybe Kitzelman did throw maybe it was a trick play. The blurred out guy was definitely Kitzelman. No, Holden Staves was good, man. He wanted to play though. I can't even remember where he went now. Was it Indiana? Let's see. A lot of good comments. I'm trying to hit what I can down through here. Kitzelman, he's a good leader at tight end. Yeah, he really is. No doubt about it. Yeah, I did see that. The guy committed Kentucky, grew up Tennessee fan. So we'll see. It seems like Tennessee a lot of times when they're late to offer guys holding it. But, I say that, and they got DeJuan Morris to flip late last year. Yeah, I've seen some. I'm just looking at some of your comments here along the way. Offense, we probably, man, the Georgia. I expect they'll be good in the Syracuse game. They'll be good enough to win. I'm pretty high on this defense. I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty high on it. Now, I think there's a couple guys that are going to be game changers for this defense, but I'm still holding my prediction that Joey Aguilar wins this job based on experience. And I say that just based on that. Okay, no worries. I know I mispronounce stuff sometimes, so I didn't mean it bad in any way. I think that 12 personnel, you got to use it some. But I feel like I don't know if Tennessee just went away from it or if teams were adjusting to it. Again, the slants. I don't mind a halfback screen sometimes unless you're running every play. There's the outside wide receiver screen or hitch, those things can go on as far as I'm concerned. But man, there's some good options out there. I feel like anytime they didn't run slots a ton last year, or slants, not slots, but I felt like they worked. That 21 offense was definitely, I wouldn't say you had some pretty good players on it, but the offense was a work in progress, or the line was a work in progress. What it took Hooker a little bit to hit his stride. That Missouri game was when they kind of hit a stride and really started going from there. That Pitt game they lost, there were opportunities. We remember how many deep balls Joe Milton met. Hooker started that game. Tennessee won it going away with it. I think Pendleton at center, Um, I think Pendleton's taking a job. It's just a matter of, is it center or right guard? He's starting. I think it just depends, really. And it's a good question. I don't know if Satterwhite, I think from what I've seen, he's doing fine, but what gives you the best opportunity along the way? And I think Pendleton will be good at center. And then Umaroff, Perry, they're guys who've been around a couple years now in the system. When we've seen pictures of the offensive line, they look the way an offensive line needs to look. That encourages me as well. And I think with different analysts, Seth Luttrell coming in. Jordan Moore brought this up. I think it was last week when he come on at the end, and I agree with this. Think about last year. This Tennessee offense is trucking right along. The Oklahoma game happens. Who was on Oklahoma's staff during that time? Seth Luttrell, offensive coordinator. Now, that's not the sole reason Heupel hired him. They have a relationship. They're good friends. And he's a good football coach. I mean, it didn't work out as an offensive coordinator, but he's won as a head coach. He's made his way up with it. He sees that has to be a big thing there. Luttrell, that's another set of eyes. What worked? He's there. He knows what worked, and that provides more for them. But I don't think – I love what they did with the analysts this offseason. You added Luttrell, Landry Jones on offense. Marion Hobby come in on the defensive line. Bonamego with special teams. Alan Williams, who's been a defensive coordinator in the NFL, helping out in the secondary. They went out and got veteran guys, and I think that's what you need with it as well. Yeah, you get some up-and-comers. You need those too. But, definitely like what they added. And I feel it's a really good staff this year. And what's up, Matt SS? Good to see you, man. I feel like this staff this year it's a good staff. I maintain that I think the offensive staff has a lot to prove. But at the same time, we're going to find out. We're going to find out on there. What's up, Chatsworth? It is better late than never. Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. Again, hit that thumbs up. If you can, you're on social media, share it out. Get more eyes on the product. I'm sure we'll get more in here. Like I said, I'm going to talk football to about 8:45, and then I want to spend the last part on baseball because I'm hyped up for baseball. I'll get to that later on. Yeah, if Joey Aguilar has a season like Landry Jones, yeah, we'll definitely be playoff bound, is what he or Merklinger. I think it's interesting that they say Merklinger's still going through. He's the first one to go, and Ryan Shumpert said a couple of days ago that Merklinger was wearing the GoPro and Arion Carter was wearing it on defense. That seems to me like maybe that's the leader of each side's wearing that. That's honestly the first I'd heard of that. Maybe it's old news to a lot of you. But whoever it is, I don't know. I still think Aguilar wins out. And then, frankly, I don't care, though. I don't give the best guy. It can be George McIntyre. I'm good with whoever they choose as long as it's the best option. As long as we win games, I don't care. I'm never one of those play favorites on who I hope wins it in that regard. The offense has got tools, though. There is talent there. There's talent at wide receiver. It's young. It's inexperienced. We just can't afford any injuries with it. And with the drops, with the only 5 being healthy, that's a bit of a concern to me this week. But again, it's August 4th. It's not – what was the first game? August – yeah, it's not August 30th. So it's all good. You got to expect there's going to be some growing pains along the way with it. So I'm good with that. The defense, I wanted to talk defense. So from some of the first videos I made about this team for this year, one of the guys I said to watch out for, and these defensive coaches, Tim Banks and William Inge, has done nothing to throw water on the hype. Edwin Spillman's going to be a dude this year. I'm just telling you right now. And I can't remember which one of the writers, if it was Shumpert or Mike Wilson or who it was, and there's probably more as well that sung Spillman's praises. But he could be a game changer on this defense because you think about it last year, Carter, T. Lander, the other guys who transferred out really got baptism by fire once Keenan Pili went out. Now, one of them was going to play anyway on it. They did some good things. They struggled in the past. Edwin Spillman can move. He can hit. And, obviously numerous linebackers are going to play. I think he is going to be big time for this defense, a game changer this year. I think the linebacking unit takes a big step. I expect the defensive line will be, the big thing last year, we talked about how good and deep they were. The sack numbers were down a bit last year, though. So that's been an emphasis as well. And I think Joshua Joseph's big year. Who else steps up? Tyree West. I look for him to step up. I think Hobbs takes a big step this year in the middle. Can Caleb Herring, can Jordan Ross take a step as well? There's talent. There's a ton of talent on that defensive line. It's going to be good. The biggest thing is, can they get to the quarterback? And, I can sit here and make a joke about it. Part of the reason you couldn't last year because we watched James Pierce highlights. And I don't think there was a single James Pierce highlight where somebody didn't have at least a handful of jersey, if not a couple hands full of jersey last year. It's pretty obvious why James Pierce numbers were down, but he was still, he still got drafted first round. So linebackers, Carter, I expect him to take a step. I expect T. Lander to take a step. Obviously, Edwin Spillman in there as well. The question is going to be after that, who's really the fourth linebacker in that regard? Is it Jordan Burns? Is it Jaden Harmon? Is it Jaden Perlotti? I seen a quote, I think it was from William Inge. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong on this, about they have to slow Jaden Perlotti down. Kind of remind me of what they'd say about Edwin Spillman last year as well, that they would have to tell Perlotti to kind of slow it down some. So this linebacking unit is deep, man. It is really deep, and it's young, too. You have no seniors in the room this year. Carter and T. Lander are juniors. Spillman's a redshirt freshman. Jordan Burns is a redshirt freshman, a guy they talk positive about. And then, of course, you got Harmon, Perlotti, Ains, who are all freshmen coming in. And then, you couple that with what's coming in next year with Braden Rouse, with TJ White. I've not gotten around to do my video on the trajectory of this program. We might talk it here in just a few minutes before I get to baseball. Still got about 15 minutes on that. But, man, it's just loaded. It's a loaded room, this linebacking room is, and it's only getting better right now, too. And then we look at the I forgot about this dude. Well, let me hit a couple of some good comments here. Isaiah Campbell, man, they talk really highly of him. I forgot about him. I think we'll see him based on what they've said. Okoye, I forgot about this dude. And, man, from everything I've heard, sounds like he's a long ways away still. I think he had not played much football coming here. So, can't really say I've heard much on him, but who knows? Maybe he's a guy that comes out of nowhere this year that we've seen. I do not know the answer to that. Why? And it's proven it was Miles Kitselman who was blurred out. It was not a quarterback, actually, because Austin Price put it out on Twitter this evening, said he was being funny. He said, great picture of Lindsey Nelson Stadium here, and it was Kitselman and somebody else. I'm not sure who was in the other jersey beside of him, but the blurred out guy was not a quarterback, actually. So I don't know the reason. That's a great question on it. Look at the secondary too. Yeah, we do, man. We've got some absolute headhunters and killers on that defense that will absolutely knock the crap out of you and not think twice about it. And, and I've not even gotten to the secondary because there was one of the highlight packages, what was it? It might have been, I was watching Pat McAfee one day and they was introducing the new college football song. It's who Machine Gun Kelly. And I'm pretty sure one of the highlights in that was of Edris Farouk knocking the absolute crap out of somebody. And I can't remember what game that was. Was it NC State maybe, or maybe it was Kent State? It was one of those early ones on it. But getting to the secondary, you got Farouk at safety, who's got a lot of talent, who absolutely knocked the crap out of you. Turrentine, I expect to take a step. And again, I like it this year too. I mentioned Alan Williams coming in. Used to be a defensive coordinator. I need to look up who with on that. Some of you guys might have that memorized off the top of your head here. I don't. I'm thinking maybe the Jets, but I could be totally wrong on it. I'm going to pull it up and find out here. Let's see. I know he's listed. Golly, I did not realize they have so many assistants. So much. Alan Williams. Let's see here. It does not have where he's coached at before. I'll keep looking because I am kind of curious on that. Obviously a respected coach, but another set of eyes in the secondary. Oh, he was the Bears defensive coordinator. Okay. At least they're 55. Looks like he was the Bears defensive coordinator, and he was defensive backs with the Colts for a few years for the Lions. I was defensive coordinator for the Vikings back 2012, 2013. Was Colts defensive back coach from 2002 to 2011. Okay. All right. Started at the high school ranks, worked his way up. Pretty cool there. But a guy who's done it in the NFL. Defensive coordinator, defensive backs. Love it. Love it there as well. Colton Hood, massive pickup late in the game, especially with the injury to McCoy. And then when does Boo Carter work his way back as well? Jalen McMurray, and you guys probably seen, has been working star on it. And, of course, Ricky Gibson, Turrentine at one safety, and then either Farouk or Beasley at the other. That's a solid defensive backfield right there. And then, looking at depth, to me, I'm trying to think of the veteran guys because, of course, you had some guys transfer out. But, even though he's a redshirt or a walk-on, William Wright, he may be scholarship by now. William Wright, they mentioned him. He's a guy who's played. And do any of you guys know Jordan Thomas's status? I've heard nothing on him right now. And I thought, of course, he was out injured last year, but I have heard nothing on him at all. Perlotti was one of those guys. He was a 4-star. I want to pull up the recruiting here as well because he was a 3 in some outlets. He was one of those that had mixed reviews. His stock last year he started out ranked really high, and then his stock just went down some, but I think Tennessee was pretty happy to get him. Let's see here. He was a Rivals on 3 at the time. Both had him 3-star. 24/7 and ESPN had him as 4 stars last year. So he was kind of one of those they were a little mixed on. Oh, that is pretty funny. If it was a raindrop that blurred it, I didn't think about that because if it's been anything like it has up here in Western North Carolina, and so it's rained for a couple days now. Old Kongbo, he was an interesting guy. Let's see. Looking at some. Okay, good comment. I did not see that mention that Aguilar's been wearing it too. Okay, so that was the first I'd heard of it. So thanks for clarifying that for me. Let's see. I think this is a case of it still amazes me that people want to get rid of Tim Banks. I'll be honest with it. And here's why I say it. I know he's not perfect. I know there were a couple games last year where what was that game plan, Georgia and Ohio State. But, man, every year that defense, we don't go to the playoffs last year if not for that defense. I mean, you have those games, but I don't know. Sometimes it's just not your night. Like, and part of me wonders with like Georgia, if we're just still not to that level physically with Georgia. I think because Georgia is dumb. That game was close till we talked about last week, and Jordan said that to like the 7-8 minute mark, we were tied, and then it kind of fell apart at the end. But yeah, Georgia's still holding Pierce. I'm getting caught up on Jordan Thomas out for the year again. Dang. I thought I had seen that maybe, but geez. I would think that's not real good for his prospects of playing again. That sucks. Medically retire. That stinks, man. I thought that was a guy that I think we would have seen a lot more of last year if not for his injury. But, man, that stinks for him. Man, if this team could come out of the gates and beat Georgia this year, that's huge. That I almost think you've either got to beat Georgia or you've got to steal that one at Florida to be playoff bound this year. Alabama, I mean, we know how it is in Alabama, but I'm telling you, I think the defense. Am I crazy thinking the defense has a chance to be better? Especially when you get McCoy back, and if he's 100%, you couple and we get Boo back. Boo's ready to go. Boo gets things going. That's a deep secondary. You don't have Pierce, but I think the line. I mean, let me just rattle some names off on this defense. Look, well, I was on the defensive backs. Who am I forgetting? A lot of these freshmen, man, they've got some good size and speed, like Ty Redmond, 6'2", 192. That's a really good size defensive back. Trey Poteet, his bloodlines. I mean, his dad played in the NFL, was a good player. Dylan Lewis, 6'1", 187. Timothy Merritt, 6'1", 185. Sidney Walton, 6'1", 196. Marcus Gorey, 6'1", 185, which I've not heard much about him. Man, this is a good-sized defensive backfield that they have. The shortest guy in it that will probably play is 5'11". That's a really good-sized defensive backfield that they have. I mean, you look at your safeties. Beasley, 6'1", 200. Farouk, 6', 200. Turnhine's 5'11", 195. All right, Ricky Gibson, 6', 185. They're definitely recruiting some size, but I think what we're seeing as well is speed. I mean, we look at defensive line. Hobbs, I think Hobbs takes a big step this year. Marion Dye is a guy we've not talked about. Ethan Utley, can those guys get in? Are they ready to get in to the rotation, contribute? Tyree Weathersby's a guy we've really not heard a lot of in the first couple of years. Is he finally ready to take a step? I expect Joshua Josephs to have a big year. I mean, Bryson Eason's a dude that's played a lot of football down here. Hard to believe he was recruited as a linebacker, and now he's 6'3", 315, playing defensive line. But he's going to be solid. I think a lot of eyes are on Jordan Ross. Does he take a big step this year? Could he kind of take a James Pierce-like step this year? I'm curious on that. Jamal Wallace, that's one I think from what I've seen, I don't know that he's close. Caleb Herring, is this his year to take a big step? Some of you mentioned Okoye. He's now listed as a redshirt sophomore. So he's going into his third year. Carson Gentle, there's him. Jaden Lofton, true freshman. Could he get in and work his way in? Tyree West, I think, is going to have a big year this year. Golly, man, there's so much. Christian Gass, which I've seen, he's been injured right now. Isaiah Campbell, I think Kyle mentioned him. From what we've heard, I expect him to be in the rotation. Jackson Moy. I mean, the list keeps going on and on, guys. This is great. Kellen Lindstrom, was a guy. He's a redshirt freshman out of Missouri that they were happy to get. Dominic Bailey, Nathan Robinson, Josh Shell, Charles House. Good grief, man. I mean, just think of when just think of when this staff got to Knoxville and what the depth was like on the defense. I know the game plans are not always perfect and stuff, but man, the trajectory of this program is high right now. It is really high when you look at the amount of guys that'll graduate this year, who would come back, barring that everybody comes back, what you're adding through the 2026 class, and that's if maybe you can finish two with Hyder and Tristan Keys, maybe even Darius Gray, who knows on that one. I've seen mixed on that one, but and there'll be other prospects that pop up. I don't think there's any doubt about that. So the trajectory of this program is really high right now. And I don't think it's too much to ask that. And I don't think it's a crazy comment to say this. I don't know what will happen this year with just because you've got to beat Georgia and you've not beaten Florida nor Alabama on the road in 22 years. Now, something's got to give at some point. But I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to each year think this team is capable of going to the playoffs. I really don't. I mean, there's so much talent, and it's so much of it's young this year and unproven too. So I think the defense, I mean, the amount of names on that, again, where they've started at versus where they're at. They had to go out and hit the portal basically to get a defensive backfield, if I'm not mistaken, the first year. They added some linebackers. Their linebacker depth was non-existent the first couple years, really. Defensive line depth was not very high, and now look where we're at. There is talent all over the field on this defense right now, and I really think the offense is starting in some places. You're seeing it now. Yeah, there's only 7 wide receiver option scholarship guys. There's talent. There's a lot of talent. They're stacking. Oh, there's my alarm for baseball. All right, we'll talk baseball here in a minute. I'll finish up my thoughts here on it. But you're bringing in, if you keep your quarterbacks after this season, you add Faison Brandon to the fold. Running backs, Star Thomas, and then if you get Hyder, you add what they've got committed now with Moa, with King, and some of these guys at wide receiver. You add what they're adding through. This program, man, there is a high upward trajectory right now for this program, and it should continue to get better. I mean, we could go through and look at who you're going to lose after this year, and there's still going to be a lot of talent. They're going to add more next year. They'll add through the portal, but they're just not going to be like Ole Miss that's Ole Miss's strategy. It is what it is. They'll add what they need, 5 to 10 guys. But appreciate you stopping in, Chatsworth. Have a good one, man. But, yeah, we'll wrap up on that one. As far as football goes, I want to talk some baseball here as well. But I do expect to answer some questions. I expect the defense to be possibly better this year. I think there's possibly more playmakers. I really, especially at linebacker. Spillman to me is a game changer if he continues to do where he's at. I really think that's the game changer. And there's going to be a number of options on that line. And again, the defensive backfield depth could be an issue, but if McCoy, once he comes back, you get Carter back in the fold, that's big time. That's 5 really solid dudes who can play corner nickel there as well. Wanted to talk baseball tonight just because I still talk baseball every week with got to be a big buddy of mine now. And this team next year for baseball is going to be loaded. They are going to be loaded. So some I wanted to hit was, and obviously in the offseason, over 20 departures to the portal. I've done videos on it. I've not talked it live much. Definitely want to get into some live baseball talk here. But, man, just – I'm going to hit one thing. Just all right. So lots of departures through the portal. And I really don't think, to be honest with you, you obviously lost talent. All those guys who come in can play. They could play. But decisions with the new roster limits, and there might be a way to skate around them a little bit. But, a lot of your pitchers that left, they might throw a week midweek. I mean, Michael Sharman threw a little more. Breedlove threw a little more. Breedlove signed a free agent deal with the Yankees. Michael Sharman transferred to Clemson, which I thought was pretty interesting as well. But with Tennessee's returners, they returned Tegan Coons, Braden Krenzel, Anson Seibert. That's who they returned. That's some talent right there. Coons lit up the Cape Cod League. Definitely want to talk some Cape Cod League here. But that's obviously you added Landon Mack, you added Brady Frederick, you added Bo Rudy, Evan Blanco, Mark Hendy. This weekend. You got Brandon Arvidsson. You surprisingly got Brandon Arvidsson back. To me, your rotation's Coons, Arvidsson, Mack. That's how I go with it. And when you go dominate the Cape Cod League like Coons did, that's a statement. Speaking of that, too, Tyler Myatt, JUCO Player of the Year, lit it up last year. JUCO Triple Crown winner, went to the Appy League for King Sport, lit it up. Then he went up to the Cape Cod League. He's not missed a beat, man. Wooden bat hitting 470-foot bombs. I mean, heck, this dude might just come to Knoxville and say, I'm using a wooden bat next year. He won't, but he's been leading off for Orleans. I saw they won their division of the Cape Cod, so they're getting into the playoffs up there. But ever since he's went up, he won Cape Cod Player of the Week pretty much right out of the gates. It's every night, seems like. He's just lighting it up, man. And what a pickup. What a pickup that's looking to be. Henry Ford is looking to be a big one. A guy I'm high. I love this dude. You guys have heard me say it. People write him off all the time. Ariel Antigua went and lit up the Appalachian League. The Appalachian League is probably one of the top 3 or 4 college wood bat summer leagues. You go hit over 400 in it. I don't care where it's at. That is impressive with it. His glove's going to be there. I'm seeing a lot of people trying to give Manny Marin the shortstop job. I'm not convinced on it. I would not write off Ariel Antigua winning that shortstop job next year. The thing of it is, there's probably close to 15 guys who could be everyday starters on this team. But, I mean, if I had to narrow it down with it, Myatt's lighting it up, leading off in the Cape Cod League. Let's do the same thing in Knoxville. Lead Myatt off. This is kind of and it may be an unorthodox lineup, but I'm always a guy. I don't subscribe to the old theory of you got to get a speed guy on. I want my guys getting the most at-bats. That's why I love Christian Moore leading off. I said last year I didn't have a problem with Keelan when he went to lead off. I would have let Andrew Fisher off. Just my opinion on it. I would let Myatt lead off. I would have Henry Ford hitting second. I know they go left, right, left a lot. I think Blake Grimmer is going to be hard to keep out of this lineup, man. Hey, what's up, Eric Turner? I appreciate you, man. There is an option somewhere here in the chat where you can make a donation on it. I don't see the same screen on that you guys do. There should be an option somewhere, maybe around the top on that. So really appreciate you on that one. I think Blake Grimmer is going to be hard to keep out of the lineup, man. I really do. And if so, if he has the power we've seen, maybe now I'm going to change my mind probably a dozen or so, probably 100 times going up. I'm pretty set right now of I would have Myatt leading off, Ford second, Levi Clark fourth. Now, how do I fit around that one? Jay Abernathy, Matt, is an interesting one. Where I think he's got to be in either center field or second base on it. I think he's got to be in at center or second base. Matt SS for Truck, man, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. He says, go Big Orange on that. Thank you so much for your generosity. Greatly appreciate that along the way. Abernathy, to me, if you guys watch how Tennessee plays, the way they line up their second baseman and stuff, a guy with his speed, he could be ideal for second base. Now, you could see Myatt there. Heck, you could see Antigua there. You could see Marin. You could see Chris Newstrom. They have an abundance of options on it. But I think Abernathy either at second or center, and I don't know that I have a preference on it because I feel like both, obviously, I think as, you know, we all liked Hunter Inslee. I think if there was a knock at times, he could track a ball like pretty much center around him really well. I felt like there was times his range, a guy like Abernathy would have gotten us some balls that maybe Inslee couldn't. So I think Abernathy's got to be in. And, you know, the fact that he absolutely cranked one to end the season was one of those things. I wondered why he wasn't playing more, to be honest with you, but they had the reasons on it. I think, and two, I mean, Abernathy's an option. You could lead him off. I mean, you could go Abernathy, Ford, Myatt, Levi Clark, and build from there. I just think those guys, I want Ford up high. And the way Clark, he had a good season in the Cape Cod League. Very encouraging what he did. I mean, that's top-notch competition. Now, you've got some of the best competition is playing with Team USA in the summer, but Cape Cod League's loaded with guys. I mean, it really is. It is loaded with them. You know, just looking at too, I mean, who catches? Is it Stone Wallace? He had a pretty good season in the Cape Cod League. Is it Garrett Wright transferring in from Bowling Green? Garrett Wright can play the outfield, or he can catch. Stone Wallace can play first, or he can catch. Henry Ford can play first or the outfield. I've even seen speculation he could work some at third base. Manny Marin can play pretty much anywhere. I mean, he can play third, short, second. I think he got a little bit of run in the outfield, at least in practices last year. Antigua can play throughout the infield, first or second, third, short. Levi Clark, to me, is either first. I think he's first baseman. I think that's where he's at with it. As far as catching, I would put his catching below Garrett Wright and Stone Lawson. Probably, I mean, you got Trent Grenlinger coming in who was top 40, top 30. Could he force his way into line? There's some amazing freshmen coming in. Ethan Moore, Evan Hankins, just to name a few off the top of my head right now. This team will have their bench could go smoke most of the country next year. I'm just telling you off the top of my head on that. But Newstrom, I love Chris Newstrom. I think he's going to be hard to keep out. Reese Chapman, can Reese Chapman take another step this year? He had his moments last year. He wasn't awful. He wasn't bad. I think it was the thing with him and Bargo at the end of the year was they had a rough postseason. And it's kind of that lasting impression that you see. But Chapman can play, man. If he can make strides with the bat, he's an excellent defensive outfielder. And you got to think he's going to have a leg up to be the right fielder Is it Abernathy in center? Could it be Henry Ford? Could it be Garrett Wright along the way? And then I think that's going to determine left field. I mean, you could go numerous options. And I'm probably forgetting some guys right now. I mean, I'm curious to see. I mentioned Blake Grimmer. I think he takes a big step that he'll be hard to keep out. What about Hunter High? He's a guy that's got some talent there as well. I said pitchers earlier that just Coons, Seibert, and Krenzel. Nick Abraham is coming back too. He was a true freshman. Put up good numbers in the California League this summer as well. And I think now with this new roster limit, it's going to bring back the need for a midweek guy, for a midweek starter. Could that be Abraham? Could it be Cameron Appenzeller? Could it be somebody else? I mean, guy I've not even mentioned, Blaine Brown, two-way guy. There's people really high on him, thinking that he may be the top transfer bat-wise. But he could, and he can pitch too. Now, his numbers were a little erratic last year. They were not great, but he didn't pitch a ton either. So I think they were inflated due to not pitching as much on it. But he's a guy too. I mean, it's crazy how much talent they're going to have. Now, the big thing I would say is, if there is a negative, is pretty much all this talent is unproven in the SEC. That would be the one thing that would make me pump the brakes a little bit. None of the guys, pitchers nor hitters, are proven SEC commodities. Reese Chapman's the most proven of the bunch. And so that's going to be the thing. But the beauty of it is we see it every year, guys taking major steps. I mean, 2 years ago when they won a national championship, Dylan Drawling and Kavaris Tears without the steps they took. I mean, even Blake Burke. Blake Burke was hit and miss his sophomore year. He ended the year, I thought, good, but he went through a rough patch. All of them, Christian Moore, he grew big time from sophomore to junior year along the way. It's just crazy what they add along the way. Just crazy. And again, the pitching, I like what they've got for the weekends with Coons, Arvidsson, Mack. I think that's your starters. Blanco, Hendy, Bo Rudy, Brady Frederick, Braden Krenzel, Anson Seibert. Could Appenzeller, could some of these others, could Nick Abraham. They're loaded with depth. Man, it's going to be so much fun. Some of you mentioned Rick Barnes earlier with basketball. That team's loaded with depth this year. And I seen it floated, and I don't necessarily disagree on this, that they've said that it's possible. We all love Zakai Ziegler, but I've seen the writers say it's possible Jacoby Gillespie might be an upgrade over Ziegler. And I don't think that's a light statement either. Whoa. Eric Turner, $49.99. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Said, Frank, after the media concerns expressed over the wide receiver room, assuming Brazel and Matthews are back from injury soon, where would your confidence level be in the receiver room as a whole scale of 1 to 10? Man, you and Matt SS, thank you guys so much for your generosity tonight. I really appreciate you on that. Cannot stress that enough. Man, that's a good question on a scale of 1 to 10. Where is my confidence level? And that's with Brazel and Matthews back from injury. I would put it. I want to see some of you guys give your opinions on that too. Man, I'm going to go more than 50%. I'll go 6. I'll go 6 right now on it. Just because it's an excellent question. Again, you guys that super chatted tonight, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you. Man, I hate to sound low with a 6, but We saw the drops last year. We saw the drop, or we've seen them in small increments so far. But, I mean, to me, with the offensive staff, the coaches, it's a prove-it year. Kelsey Pope, though, is recruiting his hind end off. He is recruiting big time right now, especially if he lands Tristan Keys in it. If you hear Joey Halsley talk, he's a smart guy. I think Joey Halsley knows what he's doing with it. And, maybe it just come out they didn't adjust, or maybe it was they couldn't do much with quarterback last year. That receiving room, my confidence, I'm going to go 6 on it. But, I mean, it's loaded with talent. It is loaded with talent. It's just unproven right now. To me, what would be big for them, Syracuse game, come out of the gate, whoever the quarterback is, whether it's Aguilar or Merklinger, maybe it's McIntyre. I really think it's Merklinger or Aguilar. I still stick to I think it'll be Aguilar, just my opinion on it. But, man, if these guys could make some plays, if they could – we know we've gone long when the porn bots show up. There we go. All right. So, but if those guys could come out of the gates, have a game against an ACC team like Syracuse, make some plays, do some things, that's a confidence builder for them. ETSU, follow it up. You should blow ETSU out with it. But you make some plays there, then Georgia. That's when it's going to get real. What's up, Ben Porter? It's a good comment here. Let's see. Said they're catching balls from 3 different style arms. Yep. 2 key guys out. Some of those were non-scholarship. Okay. I mean, I do know that I saw Matthews and Staley with some drops, but again, I do remember now that you said it, some of the non-scholarship guys with it. Let me come back to football. I wanted to wrap up baseball. I was on that one to finish that off. We're going to talk. My plan, I've got to make it down to Knoxville for some games next year. But my plan for like post-game stuff on here, I think I'm out on football for post-games just because, I don't know, I'm a lot of times a little more amped up on football at times. And I don't know. I've got confidence in the coverage that I do on it, but it's a saturated market. A lot of people do it. A lot of people with bigger followings than me do it. So I got to pick and choose on that. I've always contemplated like a early Saturday morning, like 8 a.m., wake up and have a coffee. Somebody wants to wake up and get them a Bloody Mary or something. But that could be interesting. I don't know. The post games are fun sometimes, but I'll tell you, unless you've done a post game, especially after a Georgia game last year or one of these tough losses, they are rough. I remember even basketball, when we lost at Auburn, I just did a post game video and I did it first thing. I was so mad on that one, and it definitely stirred up the Auburn fans. There's no doubt about it. But I think I'm out on that. But where I want to go is men's basketball, Tennessee baseball. I'm thinking unless I were to go to a game or something doesn't come up, I won't go live after every game. Even if it's, just a few minutes, kind of cover the game, chat a little bit, and wrap it up. The Arkansas. Yeah, Ben. That's right. That freaking Arkansas game. Yeah, I was amped up on that one too. And no, I wasn't doing other channel. I wasn't doing Talking Vols when the Georgia State game happened. I remember them talking about how tough that one was. But, yeah, Mason, I'll do some Lady Vols post games as well. I just don't know if I can do all men's and women's every game because that'd be 4 games a week. That's a lot of time to invest. But the Lady Vols brand is good. I mean, doing Lady Vols stuff boosted this channel big time. So that's kind of, and then Tennessee baseball. That's, oh my gosh. We're see some of the comments out of bounds, just like Nico. God, forget about that freaking game. Jeez. Oh man, whatever. It's hopefully we don't. I've never seen that, a quarterback run out of bounds inside the 20 to end the game, and we've seen it twice in 4 years. There, just unbelievable how that even happens. But it is what it is. All right, appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Hoping to get some more guys on here at some point. I know Kerry's been tied up. Jordan has had stuff come up. I hit up Backwoods. I know he's pretty busy too, but definitely hoping to get some people on at some point. It definitely makes better conversation, I think. I mean, you guys help drive the chat. I really appreciate that. And again, I appreciate Eric, Matt, for your generosity. I cannot thank you enough for that. Been a good show. It's been a lot of fun. Be live again next Monday night. We'll see where I go with content this week. Obviously, with football in, that's where we're at. Hopefully, we've got some big recruits coming off the board. We've got Hyder coming up here. Is it the 19th? I believe it is. Got Darius Gray coming up later in the month as well. So it's, when will we hear something on Tristan Keys? If we do, I seen something that I think LSU may have gotten a little momentum back there, but I don't think that one's going to be over until it's all said and done. But, thank you guys. Appreciate you tuning in tonight. It was a good show. Have a great rest of your Monday. This is Frank. This is the House of Orange. Like I always close it off, I'll see you when I see you.